All right, I think we'll get started this morning. Thank you, everyone, for joining our session this month, which is on cybersecurity, as it's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. My name is Jonathan Hamilton. I'm the president at Point Alliance. Today's session will be led by John Zeri, our CEO, who's just going to go through some best practices with you, some tips and tricks, some information around cybersecurity. Obviously, a hot topic and has been a hot topic for some time. Um, and not necessarily just protecting yourself from hackers or people trying to get into your environment or your cloud environment, but also assisting in training your users on what to do, what not to do, how not to expose sensitive corporate information, and again, better awareness so that they're not doing things to jeopardize the security of your organization. So, without further ado, I will turn it over to John and we will get started this morning.
All right, thank you so much for introduction. Hello and good morning, everyone, or good day, wherever you're located. Thank you for attending today's session on cybersecurity. Just this is what our agenda it is. Again, this compacted session is only 30 minutes. If you need any information about any of these topics, you always can reach us at a later time. We will be posting the copy of this presentation along with the recording of this on our YouTube channel. So you will receive a notification from us tomorrow with all those links and everything in it. And of course, if you need additional information, you can reach us to us. So Point Alliance, you already met my colleague, Jonathan Hamilton. He's our president. My name is John Zeri. I'm a CEO with the Point Alliance. Point Alliance is a solution partner with a multiple solution the competencies, and so we are very proud to achieve that. Our team is 100% certified, Microsoft certified, and that's a great achievement. And our core expertise is Microsoft and Microsoft Cloud. So to start, give you some information what's happening out there, right? As Jonathan mentioned, cyber attacks is not a matter of the if, it's just a matter of when now, and what we can do best to protect ourselves and to be ready if in case of those incidents happen. So if you can look at some of the stats of increase in the cyber attacks is increasing in a rapid speed, and you can see the nearly 50% increase in 2025, and with ransomware incidents up 126% year over year. I thought the last year numbers were out of control. It's even getting worse, right? Evolving threats, of course. So adversaries are leveraging AI-driven phishing, deepfake, stolen credentials into invade detection. And we're going to get to that too, because the AI, of course, is a hot topic. And if you're a Microsoft organization, you think about, okay, I want to put a co-pilot at those places. And that's why the security is a big part of the enabling AI in any organization. Email exposure. Around 90% of cyber incidents still start with the phishing and email-based attack vectors. So that's phenomenal. And we do lots of help. We're helping lots of clients with the email phishing training and so on to make sure to kind of create that scenarios and train users. It's one of those things people also need to be reminded. I know October is a month for the cybersecurity month, but this thing happened. You need to remind the staff all the time to be very vigilant about the email receive, if something they're not expecting and so on. Cost of the data breaches, the average global data breach cost reached 4.8 million in 2024, the highest on the record. And again, this number repeats. If you attended our last year session, that was a record for itself. So every year is a new record. So again, we are focused on Microsoft and why Microsoft security we think is the best for you. Comprehensive security features that exist, data protection and compliance, seamless integration, scalability and flexibility, and proactive security measures. That's very important. So once you're in a Microsoft Cloud, again, all those tools are available to you. And of course, you can enable based off your organization because every organization is different. So all the tools are available to you and you do not have to kind of reinvent the wheels. And that's very important. And again, Microsoft unique vantage point. These numbers are just unbelievable. 100 trillion security signals processed daily, and that's again, it's hard to kind of digest these numbers. 4.5 million new malware files blocked every day. 38 million identity risk detection analyzed in average day. And again, I'm not going to read all those things. You can see the numbers. So that's what you have behind you when you choose Microsoft as your core platform and the security that's available to you. And again, I need to emphasize, some have a perception that if you go with the Microsoft Cloud right off the bat, you're secure. You still need to kind of lock down and modify it based off your needs. But all the tools you need, it is all available to you. Some of the bragging rights, again, I don't want to sound like a Microsoft employees, but you can see where they stand within the security. So recognized a leader in the Gartner and Magic Quadrants, 8 consecutive years. That's a massive achievement. Named leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for endpoint protection, 6 consecutive years. And again, with the endpoint and the Microsoft Intune, perhaps you have seen our previous last month's webinar was on the Intune. That's very important. Device management, how you control the devices to make sure the users are fully protected. Name a leader in Forrester Research, Zero Trust Platform. Ranked #1 globally for modern endpoint security market share for 3 years in a row. Again, when people come to you and they say, okay, you need security on top of the Microsoft has, I always tell our clients, take advantage of everything that Microsoft has, but if you need something else, you can add to it. But there's lots of protection built into it that you can take advantage of it. So the 3 pillars of the cybersecurity, what we have is technology, processes, and the people. So the reason we are here kind of do the people part. So we talk about technology. Of course, we can put the Microsoft Cloud in play, processes with them enrolling Intune and device management and make sure the updates are done. But we also need to get people and all together to reduce the risk. And that's very important. So on the technology side, again, I touched on that earlier, Intune and endpoint management. Cost-effective security solutions, again, is available within the platform. Multi-factor authentication. It's one of the most effective ways to stop the getting compromised. And again, I say that not just for your corporate identity, and also on a personal side. I always tell people if multi-factor is available in however or wherever you subscribe to, could be your Netflix, could be Amazon, you should always enable that thing. It's your best level of protection. Even though if your password could compromise, you cannot pass again the second factor or multi-factor. Data backup and recovery, and again, we can help you with that as well. There are tools available for cloud backup and recovery within a Microsoft stack. Of course, you have retention, but you kind of need that on top. And continuous monitoring alerts. Again, we can help you to put those in place. There's lots of monitorings built but you need to set those up. So the processes. So those are technologies. So we talk about the processes, incident response planning. So you need to kind of do that. So as I said, those cyber incidents is not a matter of if, it's when. It will happen because again, those bad actors are relentless and they will not stop and they will find a way. So we need to kind of what we do if it does happen. Policy audits and updates. Make sure that all those in place. Affordable risk assessment and patch management services. Again, that goes back to touch about on the Intune to kind of house our devices, our mobile devices. I see lots of organizations that they put lots of security on the desktops, but on the mobile devices, either Android or iOS, there's not any security on that. And those devices are as powerful or more than your desktop. Next is people. So again, you can set all those technology and processes in place, but the people are, in my opinion, is the most important part, because you can have all those two in place, but if the people are not trained well, that will be the weak link in the whole process. So we do help with the cybersecurity training, access control solution. Again, we want to go with the least access possible for people, putting privileged access management and so on, and promoting a security first culture, right? So again, I know sometimes security can kind of affect the productivity of those things, but security is very important. Can we come up with the right blend of the security and productivity at the same time? And that's how we work with a client. And again, every client is different, their needs are different, and we customize it to that. So staying secure at work and home, and some of the best practices we're gonna go through. So there are the threat landscape is in three different aspects if you break it down: digital, in person, and by the phone. So common threat of phishing, asking for personal information. When you kind of receive those emails, inconsistency in links is very important. It's easy to kind of navigate, kind of go through the email you receive, especially the one you're not expecting, to kind of say, okay, is that links are consistent? Is the email address and is the same email address that as a link is? Unrealistic threats, right? This is from the tax agency, and your unpaid tax or credit card or one of the subscription you have gonna get shut down. Generic greetings, hello sir or dad, so it's not by name. A sense of urgency. They always want to get you, kind of rush you into making decisions. You're asked to send money, too good to be true, and that's interesting that people fall for that. So they see something and they're tempted to click on the links or do something. Poor spelling and grammar. And the reason they do that sometimes because with your spam management and what you have in place, probably looking for phrases. So sometimes you can see those key phrases, money and so on, might be spelled different way. So they're trying to get around those. One thing that we see is that when the user get compromised, the bad actor goes through the mailbox and the address book and send the faulty attachment to all their contacts. So that's easy way to get people, because you say, okay, I know the person. But if you know the person, when you're not expecting an email from them, do not open that attachment. That's happened a lot. From a government agency. As far as I know, no government agency will ask you or put any information in an email. In most cases, if there's a notification waiting for you, asking you to go to the portal and check your inbox, they don't even include a link on that email in most cases, because they know that how you're going to find those. So the one example I use that I had, that the power company is telling me that there's a refund available for me for $342. This was again a while ago, but I like this example because you see that a lot. So when you look at this information, very tempting, total refund balance. All right. So usually they put it to your account and we deduct it from the next one. But let's say they just want to kind of force you to get that money. Overdue refund is pending. The first thing you do, you mouse over the email address. I say, okay, yeah, definitely a power company is not going to use a Hotmail account to send me information. Let's just go through this thing. What else we find here? As quickly as possible. Sense of urgency we talk about. Refund overdue by the date. So this was sent from the day was sent on the November 15. I had 3 days to kind of act on this one. Since when a refund was the urgency there, and it will go away if you don't click on it. So again, these are the things you need to look at it. And then if I mouse over this thing, you can see the website address doesn't even match the email or anything else on that. So this is the ways you want to look into it and kind of identify those messages. Again, it's easy to kind of look. So before you click on something I'm not sure, check out these few things. It will save you lots of headache. So to, again, we are Microsoft and we're saying that you're using Outlook. So it's very easy. If you see those messages, report those suspicious. So just don't delete it, but you should also report it as well. So you have few options. When you on your bar you see report message, either it's junk because you're getting something they're trying to sell you. So it's not something you have to worry about, but it's just they got a hold of your email and they're trying to sell you something. The other one is phishing. So if you see something like that, mark it as phishing. By doing so, also that email get removed from your inbox and get reported. So that's very important. Also, you see the option saying not junk. I usually review my junk folder once a day to see if it's something goes there. In case there is a situation is a false positive and something end up in my folder, I can go report that message and say this is not junk. So it was a true email. So securing the sign-in process, one of the most important ways to ensure the safety of your online accounts is keep your sign-in process secure. Create a strong password, keep your password secure, and don't share password and don't use the same password for multiple sites. That's very important. One thing you see when you see some of the reports from the dark web, somebody get compromised. When you look at those reports, they have the same password for everything. So all they have to do if they get a hold of a password, they will run that user account against all those popular websites to make sure which they can get to. So it's very important to have some sort of variation and not to use the same one. I like this saying, hackers don't break in, they sign in because your information was compromised to do that. So set up the strong password that is 12 character long, a combination of lowercase and uppercase. Another word can be found in dictionary and so on, significantly different from the other previous word password. I know hard is to manage and tools out there to help you to manage your password, but that's important. Easy to remember, but difficult for others to guess. So I have an example for you. This is a good one that here. So in this case, I choose the password. Again, there are tools there to kind of tell you that the quality of a password, by the way. Again, my password was my dog is Bobby, right? So again, you can say at the bottom of this thing, the password can be cracked faster than the time it takes to get back from the short walk. But let's just add something to it. So my dog is Bobby from Toronto. Look at the difference here. Again, this is something you will only think about it. Is a multiple of the things. Doesn't have to be some crazy numbers necessarily all the time, or uppercase, lowercase, so that you can see from going from the cracked is become almost impossible. And you can also enhance this to add some numbers and some special character to it. So again, check out your password. There are tools out there, and also say that if the password has been already discovered somewhere else. So again, just some examples that to keep in mind. So to keep your password safe and possible, follow this. Don't share password with anyone, not even friends and family. And that's a big practice when it comes to, for example, Netflix, right? Lots of people share that. It's a big issue with the Netflix, and we do that. So if the password you have on your Netflix is the same as the other one, you just got yourself compromised because you never know where that's gonna get sent or forwarded. Never send a password by email, instant message, or other way. There are tools that kind of mask your password. So it's important to use those things. Don't send in a plain text because you see that sometimes we ask for a password and it shows up in an email. And that email is multiple people copied on it. No, you never know who has that. Never use the same password. Always access the website using a trusted link. So you want to make sure that if you put in a credit card, the site is HTTPS, which is a secure SSL certificate on it and is safe. And again, those authorities are changing. Before you could get a certificate, it was good for 5 years. Then reduce it to yearly. No, it's going to be quarterly because the bad actors are trying to even use those secure socket layers to kind of gain your trust. Don't hesitate to change your password immediately on account when you suspect something. Just don't wait for it to something happen. If you suspect something happen, change your password. So again, one of the area I want to touch on because this was a hot thing 10 years ago, and I still see this happening. The tech support scam. Unbelievable that people still fall for this, but these are the things you want to do. Unexpected call from someone claiming to be a tech support. Have you ever called the phone companies and you've been on a call for an hour? Ever imagine somebody called you to provide you the help? That's almost impossible these days. So that's a good sign. You get an error message asking you to call a number urgently. What they do, they put plugins into the websites and acts as a pop-up. It seems like it's coming from your machine and do that. So just close your browser and shut down your machine, restart it, and it should go away. Your tech support contacts you, ask you to pay them to fix it. That will never ever happen. Your support technician asks you to download the software. That will never happen. If there are proper support people, they do have a proper access to the machine. Tech support asks you for your password or other private sensitive information. We will never do that. In my many years in the business, I never asked the clients to give me the password to fix something. The other thing is happening as we are in the hybrid mode, most people and traveling a lot, you need to be careful when you're traveling and just take some into the consideration when you're traveling. Pick a space that's private. I see you go to the airports and so on, people have a headset that they might know who is around them. And you can see the screen and maybe they're in a meeting, you can hear them loudly what they're talking about. So be careful what you're doing. If you have a conference call, video meeting, be aware of the others, of course. Don't allow others to use your work devices. If you work in a hybrid situation, you're at home and you have a roommate or those things, don't let people to kind of use your machine. Have a practice. As soon as you leave your machine, Windows key with the L, lock the device. Make it a practice that happen no matter where you are, home, traveling, or at the office. Only use a encrypted Wi-Fi for business. If you're not sure about the Wi-Fi, tether to your phone. Avoid using free USB charging. That's a massive thing for the hijacking. And what they do, they hijack the information. So you had a two-factor authentication on your phone. You plug in USB, they will hijack that token. So what's happened now, they can log into your account and the token is there as you were already authenticated with the two-factor. So it's very important. There are ways to do it. Always carry your charger. If you need something, there is a dead, it's called dead USBs. Basically what it does, that USB connector that sits between your phone and the charger doesn't have a data line on it. And you can charge your phone without worrying about it. So there's a few ways to do it. And I'll be happy to share that information to do that. So again, as I mentioned, Microsoft with the security, you got lots of tools, lots of ways to protect yourself. But in order to do that, you need to kind of enable those services. You need to kind of put them all in play. And we are here to help. So we have a few assessments. So we do the Microsoft 365 security assessment, which is, I think, is essential to be done once a year at least to make sure, because you have a team of the administrator, maybe they changed something for testing, they forgot to put it back. You want to validate that security is what you think it is. Copilot readiness assessment. Again, AI and Copilot is a buzz. If we all talk about it, everybody talk about the Copilot is a big topic. So if you decide to put a Copilot in play and you do that, you need to do an assessment. Is your SharePoint sites are secure? Is it secured on your SharePoint site? It is what you think it is. So we do help with that assessment and provide a report to give you that peace of mind. And of course, we provide the Microsoft 365 tenant assessment at no charge. That's an assessment that it takes us about the day or so to do. We don't charge for that service. It's a value added. And you end up with a 40-page report to tell you, okay, what is your security or your tenant posture is your licensing is good, is your SharePoint is secure, and all those things. So I would definitely take advantage of that offer, and it's no charge, no string attached to that. So the next steps, as I mentioned, look into the tenant security reviews and risk assessment. User access security and privilege access management is important. Even for administrators, there are ways to kind of have them to have the on-demand access. So if they get compromised, the account has no privileges until they request that privilege access. So that's very important. Data security and audit and insight, that should be at least a monthly review. Multiple platform data management strategy. As I said, we do put more effort into devices at the desktops at endpoint than we put on mobile devices, but they're very important. And there's lots of great stuff out there to be able to kind of, especially on the mobile devices, with a little effort, we call low-hanging fruits, to kind of enable the security on devices to make sure your data is not leaked or going anywhere outside. license utilization optimization. Sometimes we have clients that the license they don't need. There's no point to buy licenses you're not used to taking advantage of it. So we always can consult you on what's the best way. Cloud backup strategy and data protection and recovery, that's very important. As I mentioned, with the Microsoft or any cloud platform, what they do provide you is retention, but retention is not backup. Staff cybersecurity training and awareness planning. Talk to us about that. We do this for clients. It's a 1 hour session. We can do it in a person or online, and I think it could be a great benefit. We touched a little bit on that, but that session goes more into detail. So some of the resources I want to share with you. The one time, again, this is what we use. There's lots of other, but you use something like this. So when you're sharing the password or the thing, this is a one time you put on information and you share the link. Once the end user click on it, it's a one time only. They see it, they grab it, the link is gone. So it's not sitting there. Norton password generator. Sometimes we kind of say, okay, what should be the password? Let's choose a tool like that to kind of to generate the password for you. Cyber.org, test the strength of your password. That's very important. You think your password is good, just put it in a tool. This is non-for-profit organization, help with that. And the last one, I would definitely do this. This is not-for-profit organization, and all you have to do is just put your email address. They don't need anything else. Again, the email becomes subscription. Also run it against dark web constantly. And if they find your credentials in the dark web, you get notified. So I would definitely take advantage of it. That's it. That brings us to the end of our session for today. I hope you enjoy it. One thing I want to mention, we do run this events every third Tuesday of each month. So I hope you attend our upcoming session. The other thing is also we're doing is AI at work every second Friday till end of December. So make sure you attend those sessions too. I think you will find it very insightful and great information there about the AI and the Copilot and how it can enhance and provide the efficiency and effectiveness for your organization. And if you did enjoy our session today, we would appreciate to give us scan this QR code. This is for the Google review. We would love to receive your 5-star review if you find that. As I mentioned, I'm right about 12 o'clock. Time very well. We will post this presentation on our website. The video going to be on our YouTube channel, and you can also visit our YouTube channel for the previous one. You will receive an email tomorrow with this information. I want to thank you all. I hope you enjoyed today's event. If you need additional information, you know how to reach us, and also you can respond to the email that you will receive tomorrow. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.